party going all night long.
The hottest hip-hop and R&B. This is the summer party station.
It's Philly Jams. Follow us on Instagram.
Better follow me
at Philly Jams 95.3 FM.
Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to the Rebirth. This is your girl, Shea Marriott. Happy New Year. I'm so happy to be back in the building. Joining me tonight is my special guest co-host, Mr. Gregory Handy is in the building. What's up, Greg? How you doing?
Hey, everybody.
Man.
Happy New Year's to everybody out there. Let's make 2022 a prosperous year.
Right? Can you believe it, man? It is 2022. Thank you for coming in and standing in for my boy, Eli Isabel. I miss you, Eli. I hope you're doing okay out there in Arkansas, and we are thinking about you.
Absolutely.
Definitely, and our condolences go out to you. So, again, welcome to the Rebirth, everybody. I hope you guys had a great weekend. It's so nice to be back and be upon you guys. Yeah, that's how we do it. That's how we do it.
Right.
All right, guys. Happy 2022. How was your New Year? What did you do for New Year's Eve? Did you guys stay in? Did you go out? What did you do? Give us a call. 267-908-3166. Again, 267-908-3166. Okay, so we're going to get into it tonight. Welcome.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes. You joined us before on the Rebirth when we was on the Hottest Live, and you're back again, and
yes.
You're coming back with some good information tonight.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So give everybody out there a few nuggets.
Yeah.
It's time to rebuild in 2022.
Absolutely. And we also got to make sure that we are when I don't believe in the New Year's resolution thing, but I think when we say we're going to do something, we want to make sure that we have an accountability partner that's going to hold us accountable.
That part, accountability.
Yeah.
That's the key in 2022.
Absolutely.
Everybody has to be accountable for something.
Yes, absolutely. We got to hold each other accountable. So if you don't have an accountability partner, you might want to get one. So before we get in it tonight, make sure you get your pen and pad because we are going to be giving out some really good information. We're talking about rebuilding, renewing, and restoring in 2022. Rebuilding, renew, restore. We need to rebuild our finances. We need to restore our relationship. And we need to renew our mindset. So that is what we're going to be talking about tonight. But before we get into it, we have to make sure we talk about what's going on right here, right now. Right here, right now is a segment that we do here on the Rebirth about news that's happening around the world. And, of course, I'm sure you guys already know that the fabulous Miss Betty White.
Oh, Betty White.
Yes, she passed away.
I would forget about Miss Betty.
Miss Betty, I'm Betty. Miss Betty White passed away. And, man, the golden girl. Friend for life. Thank you for being a friend.
Absolutely.
99 years. 99 years. And
amazing.
She passed away on December 31st. And they said she passed away natural causes in her sleep.
That's the way to go.
Despite the rumor of people are trying to say that it was a COVID booster or something. So here we go again, right? So that wasn't the case. She actually passed away in her sleep of natural causes. At least that's what that's what they're saying now.
Right.
Yeah. And the other thing that was in the news, of course, I'm sure everybody have seen this. Antonio Brown.
Yes.
So there's a big conversation, and I would say a lot of going back and forth on social media right now in regards to this, because, of course, we saw, we all have our own. Everybody has a perception as to what they thought was going on, what happened, and all of that, right? So from my understanding, according to Fox Sports, that he has an ankle injury, and he did not feel like in his mind, that he was healthy enough to play. to get back into the game. So the coach asked him to get back in the game, and
he said no.
He said no. So the coach said, well, then you can leave. Now, I guess the expectation wasn't for him to just leave in that moment the way that he did, but that was the case, right? Now, I know you got a lot to say on this. I'm going to let you take the leads on this because I don't follow him, so I don't know a lot about him. But what I do know is, as a mental health therapist, which a lot of mental health therapists is weighing in on this, we're all looking at it as, okay, there's a mental health issue going on, right?
Absolutely.
There's something deeper that's going on. But then you have people that says, okay, everything is not a mental health issue, right? So what is your take on that? Because, it almost looked like he was relieved to walk away.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So what is your opinion on that?
So here's my take. AB's been around the league for quite a long time. He's an awesome player, but you also have to realize that these players have pressures other than just producing on the field.
Mm-hmm.
What I saw on Sunday, that was more than just football.
Okay.
That sent a trigger to him where he just reacted. And if you don't know this individual,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't know how to address it. As far as I'm concerned, we only going to hear what they want us to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if the coach told him to go in to play and he felt not well enough to play, the first protocol is you got all these PE people on the sideline
Right.
to get him examined to check it out
Right.
if he's suitable to play. Why didn't you just raise the flag like any other time when a person or a player is not able to play? You put it in lights like he's going to be out, he's off, he won't be playing this game. No one probably had any idea that his ankle was bothering him.
Mm-hmm.
He had a quota to meet on his contract.
Right.
So if he was up for $1 million just to make a few catches or a few yards, and then all of a sudden he can't play, and he turned it down, he's protecting his body, which is his investment,
Right.
in order for him to play. It's always two sides to a story. So
Yeah.
people always react to the media, but you have to get to the root, which is his side, and it will come out. You just can't just say, well, leave.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of rude. He got you to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He not got you, personally, but he's a part of it.
He's a part of it, right?
It's a team effort to
Right.
get where he is, and I just think that's just it's unfortunate. The way he responded was unfortunate, but
Yeah.
it's more to it.
Yeah, I definitely think it is more to it. And it is sad. And I'm gonna tell you why it's sad to me. It's sad because, number one, he's a black man. Number one, and to kind of see how the behavior was, and of course, like I said, me being a mental health professional, I look deeper. I think
to.
about trauma. I think about, and just the mere fact that it looked like it was a sense of relief for him. It was just like
He was done.
he was
He
freeing
was
himself,
free.
Yes.
Yes.
So I just think about how many times we may have had jobs in the past, and we
I can
hate
relate.
going to the, whatever was going on. Rather you hate going to the job, or you hate working with your boss, or whatever that case may be. I'm glad that's not my situation, but there has been places that I worked in the past where it was just like, man,
much.
it's just too much. And you wanted to do that. You wanted to be able, but you knew you had bills.
Yes.
You may not have, a bag like
Right.
Antonio Brown has
Right.
right now.
Right.
So you wasn't able to do that. But,
Right.
I do believe that there is something deeper, and that's just that's my perspective, and I think it's yours as well.
Absolutely. To me, that was the first time I've ever seen that in a player. And now let's just look at the Washington football team last week. There was an incident on the sideline with two linebackers. They're fighting.
Oh, wow.
they're fighting each other. I mean, one popped off on them, and so
On the same team?
on the same team.
Oh.
On the same team. Last night, and there was another game, and I can't remember yesterday. There was another incident where two players popped off. They're on the same team. This pandemic, and I'm not blaming it all on the pandemic, but we're in different times now. The anxiety of people's mental health is at an all-time high, and if they're already on the edge, they're going off the deep end.
Yeah.
So by you being in that field, you could see deeper than that, and not just the reaction, him taking it. You saw deeper than that, and I did too, and I knew it was much deeper than what he was giving out there.
Yeah.
It goes much deeper.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, prayers out to him. I hope that whatever's going on, that he makes it through it. And I mean, we have to, I'm not saying, yes, we have to hold people accountable, but at the same time, we judge too quick. And we're ready to tear people down as soon as they're doing something that we don't like, instead of embracing them and giving them grace and love. So, definitely, I pray that whatever's going on, that he gets the help that he needs.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yes,
and if you guys that's listening, if you disagree with what we're saying, please give us a call at 267-908-3166, or you could just leave a comment. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. So I'm watching, I'm looking, and I'm paying attention. And if you have something to say in this story, please definitely let us know. So again, renew, rebuild, restore. Yes. So before we get into that, Greg, I would like for you to tell everybody a little bit about yourself. I know who you are. We have over, oh my God, probably 20 years of friendship.
Yes.
So, I know you're an amazing man. You have always been a good friend to me, and I really appreciate that. But I would like for the people to know who you are and what is your experience and what we're going to talk about tonight.
Right. So, pretty much, I'm a native of Wilmington, Delaware. I grew up here. And pretty much, I've been in the financial sector almost 38 years of my life.
Wow.
Regarding banking, financing, dealing with how to build your credit, how to build your finances in the right way, how to invest. All these things are important for us as Black men to be accountable for. It's education. So all these things I've been involved in. I'm very passionate about what I do. I currently, I am in the mortgage business, and actually the mortgage business is one of my deepest passions, because I'm helping a lot of first-time home buyers get housing, quit renting. I want to see a lot of us stop renting. Kiss your landlord goodbye.
Right.
And things of that nature, because you have to start somewhere. But a lot of people don't know where to start. I'm all about educating. I'm not about tearing down or looking down on anybody.
Right.
I will roll up my sleeves anytime, just to give a helping hand. So,
and that's facts. That's true.
And for the most part, if I can't provide the resources, I will find someone who can. So I'm not one of those, I can't help you, I'm wiping my hands.
Right.
I'm not that kind of guy. I'm here to help. So I'm in the communities, real tough, and reach out, and
okay.
Shea will give you my information.
Oh yeah, well your information is actually being shared now on social media.
Okay.
So people can see that. But we're gonna get into it. So I want to start off with the finances, right? We're gonna try to cover as much as we can within this hour. But I definitely want to talk about finances, because I think that is probably the biggest problem that people are really dealing with right now, especially in this pandemic, is their finances. So before a person can even think about buying a home, right, we have to make sure that our credit is right.
Absolutely.
Right. So that is one of the things that you help people with is how to improve their credit. Right.
Right.
So we have these goals that we are trying to set in the new year. One of them will be financial goals. And I was thinking about what does that mean with setting financial goals before the show. I was just, trying to write down some notes, right? I like to take notes.
Right.
And I came up with 5 things. So one was write your financial goals down.
That is important.
'Cause I'm trying to figure out a blueprint because sometimes people don't even know how to get started. How do we even get started? So the first thing you want to do is write your financial goals down. Write them down, and number 2 would be very specific about what you are writing down when it comes down to your financial goals.
Right.
That's important. And number 3 is make them measurable.
Right. Or not even measurable. That's one part, but realistic.
Realistic. Exactly.
Realistic goals. Take small steps. You can't, and everybody's situation is different.
Right.
If you have to take small steps, it doesn't make you any less of anybody else. Take the smaller step. But long as you get there.
Right.
Look at a turtle against a rabbit. You ever see that scenario where the turtle and the rabbit, but the turtle actually still crossed the finish line.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Absolutely. I was just talking to someone. We were having a conversation, and if she's listening, she knows I'm talking about her. And I'm not talking about you, sis, but it was just something that came to my mind when I was writing this down. Was this person was saying she wanted to have at least 6 streams of income, which was good. Well, that's fine. But I think the tough part was she wanted to try to achieve that this year. And when we say let's make it realistic, like we can have different, like 6 different ideals of businesses that we want to start. Right. But when we start to say we're going to accomplish all of that in this, this 1 year, that's why we have the setbacks that we have, because it becomes frustrating, it becomes overwhelming, and then we just give up like 3 months down the road.
And you throw in the towel.
But the problem is your goals are not realistic.
Realistic expectation.
Right.
Realistic expectation is very important. There's nothing wrong with having multiple goals, and there's nothing wrong with having multiple streams of income. Matter of fact, the way this world is and the way the income and economy is, you're going to need multiple streams of income.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, you see more and more elderly seniors working in the workplace where they should be at the beach or enjoying their life. There's so many people, they work 20 to 30 years on a job, and they still have to work like a full-time job.
Yeah.
So what does that say? Did they make the right financial planning?
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, they might have a life change where it affected their nest egg. So you always have to stay up on that. So it's important.
Yeah.
Set realistic goals.
Set realistic goals. Number 4, give yourself a deadline. Right. I think that what works well with me, and I started this last year. I know we get caught up in our electronics and we can just, that's cool. But I noticed for me, although I'm using my calendars on my electronics and whatever apps that I use, it's very helpful for me to just get your old school calendar agenda where I can actually literally sit down and write it down.
Absolutely.
That's that. I tell my clients that too. When we're talking about goal setting, I'm like, go on Amazon or go to Walmart. Somebody go get you a little calendar. And yes, exactly. Right. I think Jen and I had that conversation. Write it down. It's different to just sit down and write it down, because when you're able to go back and cross that thing
Cross it out.
Woo!
Yep. My car note is paid.
Right.
Check.
Right.
Something.
Yes.
Let me take you back old school. You remember those, I'm going to take you back. You remember when you used to work in the corporate offices and they had those big calendars, right? 30 days in a month, and you had those big squares.
Yes.
You write down your appointments, you write down what you have to do.
Right.
And then you just scribble it.
Yep.
because you have achieved that goal.
Right.
It's the same principle.
Absolutely.
You have to write it down.
And you see yourself doing it. If you can't, you visualize it. If you can't visualize it, you can't achieve it.
That's right.
Point blank. You can't achieve nothing that you can't see.
It's just a hot air. It's just hot air. It's just, you'll never achieve any goal, but that's the first plan of action is to write it down.
Write it down. Write it down.
Absolutely.
That's important. And then the last one that I have is make sure that they're your own goals and not, the Joneses' goals or right.
Because the Joneses are broke. I'm
The
sorry. The Joneses are broke. Quit trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Right.
Everybody will get there. You have to stay in your own lane and achieve what you can achieve.
Yeah.
Forget everybody else.
Yeah. You have to. You definitely have to. And I think that's another setback when you're trying to, and you could be talking to your best friend, and your best friend is got all these things, what she wants to do, and you're feeling left out or behind. So now her goals become your goals, right? And you done X'd out everything that you thought about doing for yourself.
Stress yourself out. Trying to meet some semi goals, and you're comparing your goals to your neighbor,
right?
And that's not how it should be,
right?
That's just unrealistic.
It's unrealistic. It really is.
Expectation.
So that's what I had. I was like, okay, how do we, if I'm going to give a blueprint, then what would that look like? So setting financial goals. If you do those 5 things, write them down, make them specific. Make them measurable and realistic, as you said. Give yourself a deadline and make sure that they're your own goals and not other people's goals. Now, you have to take us to the next level of this, because now we're writing down our financial goals. But boom, as I'm writing my financial goals down, I realize that my credit score might be like a 500. Right? Now, I have all these goals that I want to achieve. How am I going to achieve these goals with a 500 credit score?
Credit rate. That's right. So what you have to do is take time out, get your credit report. Everybody has the opportunity to get one free annual credit report per year. You go to freecreditreport.com and you can get your own annual credit report. See what's on there. You can't look at your credit through a crystal ball. The problem is we have so many advertising credit repair companies that are setting unrealistic goals for people. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer on credit repair, but you can repair your own credit without paying that monthly cost, because guess what? You're paying them to fix your credit, and they're really, can I say it?
Sure.
Can I tell you how I really feel?
Go ahead. Speak your mind, Handy.
So I'm going to bring it back. You had a car, and you knew you had this car, and you didn't meet the obligation. They repoed it, right? So it's going on your credit report.
Right.
And the creditor is going to put that whole car on there, regardless if they took the car back or not. You owe that creditor what the balance is.
Right.
Now, keep in mind that credit, the car is gone, probably be resold, and they're charging you for what you had it for. Guess what? That's room for negotiating.
Yeah.
But a lot of people try to ignore it and try to not deal with it. But it's yours. The problem is you have to be realistic about your own debt. If you created the debt, you brought on the debt, you have to deal with the debt. You just have to be just mindful of it and take one at a time, just to deal with it. But I'm telling you, credit is so important in achieving what you need to achieve.
Absolutely.
Do you know when you get your auto insurance, they're looking at your credit?
They're looking at your credit report.
So if you have...
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
So
wow.
They determine rates on your credit. Oh, yeah, they probably not say that, but they are. If your credit is just...
Did y'all know that? Did you know that? If y'all knew that they look at your credit report when you get your insurance, y'all hit me, put some hearts in the chat. Because I want to know how many people are aware of this. That's crazy.
They look at your credit. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they say it's a soft pull. Yeah, it might be a soft pull, but they want to see how you pay, who you paying.
Mm-hmm.
So can you imagine? They pull up something. They say they see lates on an auto loan.
Right.
And you applying for auto insurance, you're at risk.
Yeah.
So you're in this category.
Yeah.
Right?
You over there.
You're over here. That's
Right.
a high risk.
Right.
You know? If you have 700 credit, you're over here. It's a difference. And you have to be mindful of that. They do check your credit. Your employer checks your credit.
Yeah. And they check your social media, people.
And social media. So if you're trying to find a job, tone down your social media. Number one. Number two, get your credit in order, because if you're applying for a job that's dealing with finances or anything like that, and you got 500 credit,
Yeah.
they're not gonna put you in the credit card department.
Yeah.
You can't even manage your own credit.
Right. Right.
These are things we have to start thinking about. You know.
So what would be the steps? So you said first you're gonna pull your credit report. So okay, I pulled my credit report. Now what? What do I do?
You pull your credit report, and you address all those what they call derogatory reportings. That's negative reporting that's affecting your credit rating. Just say you had a charge off here, or collection here. It could be even a small medical collection.
Right.
I had a client who had a $97 balance on a JCPenney card, and she couldn't get a mortgage. You know why? Because she felt as though she could pay that little $97 when she felt like it. Right? And the whole time, she was 120 days past due. Her credit tanked out on one credit card.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
On $97,
Yeah.
stopped you from getting your dream home.
Right.
Everybody has to start taking care of their credit now. So when you get the credit report, look at all those derogatory things. If there's something that you can negotiate, the numbers are on there for each credit bureau. And I tell you, you can write your own dispute letter. Okay? The key is, and what the credit repair people do is they dispute your credit. Like,
Right.
oh, this is not mine. And it's a window. It'll leave for 30 days, but once they catch up,
Right.
it'll come back on your credit. So you have that window to get what you have, because all of a sudden your credit looks good. It's a window. See, they don't tell you that. And that's wrong. That's deceit.
Yeah.
Because if you owed a bill, you owe it.
Right. Right.
It's going to come back.
Right.
So this is the thing, lenders don't like disputes. I'm going to tell you this right now. They don't like disputes on credit reports because they look at it like this. A dispute is not a settlement. A dispute is just, it's not mine and I'm not paying it, or that's wrong. It's not settled. So why would the bank give collateral or a loan to you when you haven't really settled your debt? Because now that affects their collateral. Because they could put a lien. Do you know, when you open that little credit card, when it comes in, and people, and 95% of people, they take that card, call the authorization to get it activated,
right.
and throw all that little verbiage in the trash.
Not even reading
And
it.
not reading it. Don't you know they can put a lien if you own property. The credit card companies can put a lien on your house.
Wow. Wow.
If you default on the credit. You gotta read.
You gotta read it.
That little
Yeah.
that little fine print. The reason why it's fine print
'Cause they don't want you to
know
see it.
they know you won't read it.
And I can't see it. Not the way my eyes is showing up these days.
I mean, you have to be a lot more smarter.
Yeah.
Take on what you can handle.
Yeah.
Don't take on too much. But the credit report, it starts with the credit report. You have to you know, if there's some things on there that you have to deal with, you know, that's
Then
the
let's
first
do it.
step.
Let's do it.
That's
Okay.
to do it.
All right, guys. You are listening to the Rebirth. I'm your host, Shea Marriott, and joining me, my guest co-host tonight is Mr. Gregory Handy. We are going to break, and we'll be back.
Touch.
Yeah.
Touch.
You know I miss you.
Touch.
Can I come through? Can I? Damn. Went to a party and no ho. You ain't say when you'd be home, no. I called you, ain't answer the phone, no. I see you got time to post photos. Feel like I'm going loco. Tell me something that I don't know. Are you scheming on the low low? Am I dreaming? I just don't know. You're so busy that you can't call me or even text me to say you miss me. You're so busy, just make some time for us. Make some time for me. We don't keep it no more. No more. No more. You don't need mine no more. No more, no more. We don't keep it no more, no more, no more. You don't need mine no more, no more, no more. We don't keep it. Not like we used to. No, I don't wanna lose you. Now you're out every weekend. Now I'm going off the deep end. No one's coming to my defense. You don't even wanna be friends. I don't really wanna lead this. Am I the only one who needs this? You're so busy that you can't call me or even text me to say you miss me. You're so busy, just make some time for us. Make some time for me. We don't keep it no more. No more, no more. You don't need mine no more, no more, no more. We don't keep it no more, no more, no more. You don't need mine no more, no more, no more. We don't keep no more, no more, no more. You don't need mine no more, no more, no more. We don't keep it in touch, touch.
Follow us on Instagram. Follow me at Philly Jams 95.3 FM.
Welcome back to the Rebirth. I'm your host, Shea Marriott, and joining me tonight is my guest host, Mr. Gregory Handy. And tonight we are talking about rebuilding, renewing, and restoring in 2022. So, Greg, we addressed about, how you get your credit report and what are some of the things you want to look out for. You gave us some nuggets on that. Now, your specialty is getting people housing,
Right.
which I think is amazing, because we want to own our own homes, right? We want to own our own homes. So credit report is straight, worked on it. What is my step now to get a mortgage?
Right. So once you get your credit in order, and you're ready to take the next step in looking into your affordability, it's all about affordability. So in order for you to realize what your affordability is that you have to measure the amount of house that you want to purchase versus the amount of debt that you're currently holding, and that's your debt to income ratio. Your debt to income ratio cannot exceed 45%. And what I mean by that, this is simple math for everybody to do. You take your gross monthly income, okay, and you divide it by the debts that you're actually paying per month. And this is considered your housing expenses. And if your debt is exceeding your income a little bit, you might want to bring down that debt.
Okay.
The less debt, the more house you can purchase.
The less debt, the more
More
house you can purchase.
Right. You
Okay.
can't go in there with, you make, just say, I'm going to give you an example. You make $40,000 and you want to buy a $300,000 house, and you already per month having $1,800 worth of debt coming out. It's going to be a tight stretch for you. So the lender will look at, you have excessive obligations. So you want to make sure that your debt to income ratio is intact, because when you pick up the phone and call that realtor, you get that pre-approval letter from the lender stating that, okay, you're eligible for this amount of money.
Right.
That agent really doesn't care. All she does is see, you got an approval letter, let's go find you a house.
Right.
You don't
right.
want to become house poor. This is a word of advice.
House poor.
This is a word of advice. There's individuals that are in the market looking to buy a home, and there's couples. If you are a married couple or just a couple trying to buy a house together, try to buy that house on one income. Because
Okay.
it's important.
Okay.
Because the other individual is not obligated on that loan. You can put them on the deed. They're not on the loan.
Okay.
That frees up their obligation in case of anything else.
Okay.
And that way, you are keeping steady and not being house poor. If you base it on both incomes,
Right.
sometimes you tend to over
right.
purchase,
Right.
and then you're stressed because you're adding on more debt as you're buying this house. There's other expenses that comes with that house.
Absolutely. You got to keep the
So-
lights on.
That's right. So it's best to always try to obligate one instead of the other. That's just an advice. I mean,
Yeah, I like that. That's a
in
good
some
advice.
in some cases, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with two people buying a home. But again, you don't want to stretch it to a point where we're maxed out.
Yeah. Because
'Cause
anything could happen.
Anything, there's so much uncertainty today. I mean, even good people are being affected. People that had a solid nest egg in the bank, and now all of a sudden, you never know. An illness can take you out. And this pandemic, the COVID, has taken a lot of people
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And that's why you see a lot of older people out in the workforce
right.
because of just that mere fact.
Yeah.
Health issues, they don't have the same health plan. Their health plan is more expensive. So you have to compensate for that. But once the credit is in order, you have your, you did your math in regards to what your affordability is. And like I just mentioned, your income versus your debt, that determines your affordability. Once you establish that, then you can go ahead and apply for a home. The beautiful thing right now that I offer, there's a lot of homeowners out there. They're struggling either with the down payment or the closing costs. I have 2 grants that can help with both.
Ooh, talk about it.
And I can provide up to $17,500 in grant monies
Wow.
for those first-time home buyers. These programs are very affordable. You're only required to put down 3%,
Okay.
and it's a conventional loan product. And what I mean by that, it's not a FHA loan where you pay a little more in insurance premium. So these grants are out there. They'll be out there for another 2 to 3 years. And I strongly recommend to start getting your nuggets your finances in order
Yeah.
to take advantage of these monies.
Yeah.
They're all available through Newcastle County, Philadelphia area, the whole tri-state area have these monies, and I have access to them.
So, now, and these grants are only for first-time home buyers.
No,
Oh, okay.
not really.
Okay.
The grants are just for those. They target first-time home buyers, but if someone owned a home previously, they can still take advantage of it too.
Okay.
If someone wants to buy a duplex, they can take advantage of it too. It's just the grants are targeted for first-time home buyers because majority of the folks are first-time home buyers
Right.
looking for these monies. Because
Right.
the issue is in today's world, it's either I have the down payment or I don't have closing costs.
Mm-hmm.
These grants try to cover and assist with both ends,
Okay.
closing costs and down payment, which I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I do have a question, and then we'll move off of the finances and we'll jump into relationships. But I have a question. Now, are there grants or certain type of mortgages that's for people that are investing in properties? Something that can be helpful for them? Like,
So,
yeah.
we can still utilize those grants. Just say an individual wants to buy a duplex, right? So he's going to live in one side and rent out the other.
Right.
That's considered an investment,
Right.
right? He will have to put down at least 5%.
Okay.
Okay, put down 5% of his own monies, but we can still utilize 3% of the grants to help and the closing costs.
Okay.
So that, Philadelphia is big on that. There's a
Right,
lot of
right.
individuals buy duplexes, and they're utilizing these grant monies.
Okay. This is good stuff. Good stuff. Again, if you guys have any questions, please either put your questions in the chat box or you can give us a call at 267-908-3166. We are talking about rebuilding, restoring, and renewing in 2022 with Mr. Greg Handy. So we're going to move into relationships, restoring our relationships. Now, I personally think that it starts with self. So I'm going to go backwards a little bit because when we're talking about restoring our relationships, we also have to make sure that we ourselves are restored, right? Before we're even entering into a relationship, or if we're already in that relationship, what is it that I need to do to restore me?
Right.
To build me. So I'm a jump to the mindset for a minute because I think your mindset is everything.
Absolutely.
And even with myself, and I'll be very honest because we're not always going to be 100. Today, I usually in the mornings, I wake up in the mornings before, anyone in the house gets up. I'll wake up and I'll go downstairs. I'll light candles. I'll meditate, pray, do some yoga on the floor. And that's how I start my morning, right? Now, it's important for me to do that because, yes, I am a therapist and I'm in sessions throughout my day, all day,
Right.
dealing with other people's, life, right? And I absolutely enjoy doing that, and that's something that I chose to do. And I believe that God put me in that space to do that, right? So I don't complain about that, but I also know that I have to make room. I have to make space for yeah, right? So that's how I usually start my mornings off. I did not do that this morning.
And your whole day was off, right?
And my whole day was off. And I felt
something was missing.
I felt frustrated. I felt annoyed. Everything that was supposed to go right today, it totally went the opposite. And now I'm not a person that's big on, it has to be this, and that. I leave room for error, right?
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, it just really messed with my mental today. And on top of that, the last 2 nights, I did not get proper sleep. I would say over the last 2 nights, I may have had probably 4-5 hours of sleep in a 48-hour period. So I wasn't together.
Right.
And I actually really thought about, on top of the snow, I actually thought about canceling tonight. Because I'm like, what can I bring? What can I give the people tonight when I don't have clarity, right?
Right.
But then I said, that's when you're your best. That's when you have to, step out and keep moving, because you need to let people know that you're not always going to be on your A game, but
Right.
you still have to keep going. You don't give up no matter what you feel,
Absolutely.
So your mindset is everything,
That's where perseverance comes in.
Absolutely.
You have to persevere sometimes, and every day is not going to be that perfect day where I'm hitting on all cylinders. But you said something so profound and key. It starts with self. Healing is a forever process. You will always have and always will need that healing. And the thing is with it is you have to be comfortable with yourself,
Right.
in order for someone else to be comfortable.
Right. Absolutely. And that's it right there. Not only do you have to be comfortable with yourself, but you have to love yourself.
Ooh,
You have to love yourself first.
absolutely.
We-
And there's nothing selfish
yeah.
about it. You have to give yourself love 1st. Don't forget the naysayers. Oh, you're selfish. No, you need your love. You need to love yourself first. How can you love someone else if you can't love yourself?
Yeah.
It's just impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Now, the question that I always get when I do have these conversations with people, they say, well, Shea, how do you do that? How do you I hear you talk about self-love, but what does that look like? How do you do that? And I said, well, how do you love other people? What do you do to
Right.
show others love?
Right.
Right? And they might sit and they might think about that. And I'm like, whatever you do to show others love, you do that for you.
Absolutely.
Do that thing right there, right? So I for myself, I was taking myself out on a date. I would take myself to dinner.
And it's important.
It's important.
It's very important. Take a ride. Oh my God, now that's me.
I know that's right. You be gone.
I'm taking a ride, just me, myself, and I. You have to get that clarity. Go to, we have so many places we can go to. You can go down Rehoboth, sit on the
Water,
boardwalk.
that's my thing right
Water.
there.
You can go down Ocean City.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend a lot of money. I mean, this is investment. You yourself is an investment.
Yeah.
So it's important. You have to take time out.
Yeah. Take time for yourself. Find that thing that makes you feel good. For me, I love massages. So I love massages. My body needs it, and my mind appreciates it. So that's something that I do for myself. I go and get a massage monthly. Like, I am a member of Hand and Stone. And I go faithfully and get my monthly massages, and maybe twice a month, right? But I need that. That's how I take care of me. That's how I nourish me.
That's
and that's
right.
how I love on myself, right?
right.
Some people, some females, they like going, they take, pedicures and going to get the nails done. Now, although I do those things too, for me, that's more of, okay, let me go get my nails done. I don't enjoy going to get my nails done. I go because I would like to keep myself up.
Right.
But I enjoy going to get a massage. That's a
more-
whole experience for me.
That's more of a mental relaxation.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
like going to get my hair cut, but I don't have hair. But I can go in the bathroom and put some shaving cream on. I'm like, I don't even feel like it sometimes. But
Right.
that's me.
Right.
But I'm telling you, just for that self-love, you need that. You have to take time out for yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, no one else will.
Right.
It's just so important.
Right. Or you will search and seek for this love or validation or attention
Ooh.
in all the wrong places.
Oh, go ahead and preach it.
In all the wrong places. You know?
It's all the wrong places.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I tell people, you know, especially those who are in relationships, you know, if you're, and I'm getting ready to say something. I don't want to offend nobody.
Speak it.
But
Don't
your
worry about
happiness is, you're responsible for your own happiness.
Absolutely.
And,
Don't I say that, Jen? I say that all the time.
Your mate, your soulmate,
Yep.
your husband, your wife is not responsible for your happiness. You are.
Yep.
Because if you're going to be in a relationship and expect them to make you happy, that's the wrong expectation going in.
And that's pressure.
It's too much pressure. And that's not going to work.
That's pressure. And this is the example that I always give. If you are depending on your mate, your partner, to make you happy,
Wrong expectation.
when that person leaves, if they leave, what do they take with them? Your happiness.
Take your happiness, and you
Right on out the door.
And you on the side of the road,
Yeah. Yeah.
bitter or mad.
Right.
You know, that's why it goes back again. You need to take that time for yourself, because you're responsible for your own happiness. You know,
Absolutely.
that's key.
And you don't want to give nobody that much power.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to get no one that much power, and that's why it's important. So again, it's your mindset. How do you feel about yourself? What do you think about yourself? Are you loving yourself? How can you tell someone? We teach people how to treat us. So how can we tell someone, you know, if I don't know you that way, in a romantically way, how am I supposed to know how you want to be loved? You need to tell me that I want to be loved this way. This what makes me feel good. This is what makes me feel secure. This is what makes me feel, you know, sexy, or whatever the case may be. But how can I do those things if you don't know those things about yourself?
Right. And that just brings on some total insecureness, you know, because they're insecure about themselves, because they're depending on you for happiness. I mean, it's just too much pressure. You have to take care of you.
Yeah.
So
So
it's not being selfish.
no, I call it selfless.
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 There you go.
Yes, selfless. So we restored our minds. We're getting our mindsets together for 2022, right? We're loving on ourselves. We're taking care of ourselves. We're doing that self-care. You know, self-care could be whatever it is that you want to do. You can do self-care without even spending a dime.
Absolutely. And hold yourself accountable
Exactly.
for your own self-care. I mean, you have to set that goal. That's a goal right there. Love on you.
Love on you.
You have to.
Yeah. Self-care. And I love, candles is my thing. As you can see. I love lighting candles. I don't care if it's in the morning, if it's in the evening. I love lighting candles. That is how I take care of myself.
There's peace with that. You can, it's tranquility.
Yeah.
With that, you know, you could just be in a quiet place with a candle.
Yeah.
You know,
It's important. So now, how do we begin to renew our relationships? What things can we do as a couple that will help restore, you know, especially if you've been in a relationship for a long period of time, right? You know, some people are coming upon being empty nesters, and they just looking at each other like, I don't even know who you are. You know, the kids had me distracted all these years.
Man, you just said something really profound, because I'm telling you, life is stages. There's stages of life. You grow up, you raise your kids, they get grown, they have their own lives, their own paths, and you're home now. You don't have that back and forth with the kids. It's just you. And what are you going to do?
I know. Oh, they make me cry. My baby be graduating next year.
just seems like yesterday, right?
No.
They grow fast.
His birthday, he turned. Matter of fact, hold on, pause. Shout out to my firstborn, Xavier Marriott. Happy 17th birthday. His birthday was yesterday. I cannot believe I did not start the show off with that.
Yay.
My
Happy
baby
birthday.
turned 17 yesterday. Happy birthday to my young king. I'm so proud of him. And I'm so happy to be his mother, and I'm so blessed to be his mom. So definitely shout
That's
out
good
to
job.
him. Yeah, like I said, he's gonna be graduating next year, and I'm coming upon that. And my youngest is the 2023 and 2024.
Wow.
So they're gonna be moving on.
And believe it or not, 2023 and 24 is coming around the corner.
I know, Greg.
I mean,
you ain't gotta
just-
keep telling me that.
I mean, the way these months are moving.
I know.
And my mother had said something so profound. She said, "Don't rush to become old,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
because once you become old, time will fly."
Yeah.
And I'm witnessing that now.
Yeah.
Like the older you become, the faster the time goes.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing.
Yeah, it is. And I'm feeling that way too. My grandmother used to say that all the time. Cause when in school you be like, man, I can't wait till I graduate.
Or I can't wait till I am grown.
Yeah. And now, listen, do you know how good we had it?
We had it.
We
real
ain't have
good.
no bills to pay. We ain't have to do none of that. Now, nah. Like you have to. Life is precious. Enjoy. I'm hitting the big 50 in
Yeah.
September.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm looking at life very different. I'm really preserving and really paying attention in my relationships that are around me, just really appreciating them even more.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Because, the older we become, those relationships become, they're hard, little and few. You know what I'm saying? So you have to treasure those relationships. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be 60
Wow.
next year.
Wow. Look at you. Go ahead on, Black Don't Crack. Go ahead on. Where's the hand claps? Where's my hand claps? Oh, I got the right button. Yay. I be messing these buttons up, Greg. I be messing them up.
So,
Yeah.
it's important to take care of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take care of yourself.
Absolutely. I think one thing, and I know we about to wrap up, and I'm gonna give y'all a quick list of how to restore your relationships before we go tonight. But one thing, I'm being very transparent tonight. The one thing that I noticed though, Greg, like you said, we are at a place in life where the people, our loved ones and stuff. I'm noticing that I'm starting to worry about my loved ones, like their health, their condition, and
Pay more attention to
I
it.
pay more attention.
It's not so much worrying. You're paying more attention to it.
No, I think Greg, I think I'm worrying a little bit though, and I got to work on that, because if I sit long enough, and if
It'll come on you.
it'll come on me, like especially with my mom, and
yeah.
she's aging, and my mother's so strong. And it's no secret. I've said it before. My mom is a lupus survivor,
Right.
and I say survivor because when she was first diagnosed with lupus back in her 40s, they gave her 10 years. My mom is turning 72
That's
in August,
awesome.
so God
Yes,
saw
that's
otherwise,
awesome.
right? God saw otherwise. My mom, my aunt Betty, she's like a mom to me, and I see these women, how strong they have been in my life, and I'm actually getting choked up. How strong they've been in my life. And I know that I'm not always going to have them around physically, but hey, I might go before them, but I do notice that it's been sitting with me a little bit more. So I'm trying not to worry as much, but more appreciate the time that I still have with them, and not just them, but just people I love just in my circle. I don't want to see people that I love, hurting and suffering.
Right.
And I don't know if I'm becoming soft, Greg, or what, but
Nope, it's just you're becoming more aware
Yeah.
of them. Because as we get older, we do slow down.
Mm-hmm.
And you do tend to think more as you get older. You have a lot more to think about. I have a father, I lost my mother in '02. But my father's up there in age, and he has some challenges right now. And the thing is, I'm an only child, so
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. See, we have that in common.
Yeah, I do worry.
Yeah.
Because we're all born to die,
Yeah.
but we don't want to see that. We don't want to see that. But the inevitable is there.
It's there.
It's there.
It absolutely is there.
You can't prepare for it. You know what I'm saying? It's just love them when they're here, treasure them while they're here, so you can have those memories forever.
Yeah, and that's what we have to focus on.
That's what we have to focus
That's what
on.
we have to focus on. So good word there, my brother. Good word, good word. So guys, before we wrap up tonight, I just want to throw out some things on how to restore your relationship. I'm gonna run them down really quick. There's 10 things I found, so we're gonna throw them out. If you have a pen and paper and you want to restore your relationship, write these things down. Okay. So the first one is easy. Spend more time together. Spend at least, Greg said, I'm going to write these down. Spend at least 30 minutes talking to each other every day without distractions. I think this is so important, and it has to go beyond just surface. Okay, how was your day? All of that. That's cool, but we got to go deeper than that, right? So.
Can I jump in for 1 second?
Sure.
So that is just so common.
Yeah.
That is like in every household. How was your day? Let's go a little deeper. How was your day? What was your challenges? Were you thinking about me? Those things. You have to add some more to it, because
You have to.
someone could just say, "Oh, it was okay.
It was good."
Well,
yeah. Knowing your day was bad or you feeling depressed and you
because now you done put the whatever concern on the shelf, and now it's sitting there and it's just pulling on you more.
Right, exactly.
It's going to come to surface, so you
Yes.
might as well just get it out.
Gotta get it out.
Get it out.
Get it out.
Whatever's on your mind, don't hold back, because
Yeah.
that's another one. Oh.
Yeah. Yep. So at least spend 30 minutes talking to each other every day without distractions. The second one is set a goal to do more things as a couple, whether it's completing a day-to-day chore or celebrating special occasions. You can always find more ways to enjoy each other's company. So that's important. Number 3, have a weekly date if you can. And again, you can have a weekly date without spending money.
Oh, my
Like you
God,
can do that.
yes.
You can. You have to be creative. I like creativity, honestly. I really do.
Well, creativity brings out the best in all of us.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, if you're just going to do just the normal things, I mean, there's no creativity there.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's important. Number 4, be more honest with each other. Have less secrets. Communicate more. Be more transparent. Make a pact to tell each other everything, and your relationship will definitely improve. So stop hiding stuff. That's a no-no.
Oh, yes.
That's a no-no. Number 5, try something new every month. You want to try to keep it fresh. So novelty keeps love alive in a relationship. So just try to do something new, whether it's traveling to a new city or learning something new together, maybe taking some dance classes together or something, trying a new cuisine, or just doing a fun activity, right? So try something new. Number 6, this is the important one. Focus on more intimacy,
Yes.
right? So, and
And
intimacy doesn't mean sex. You was about to say that. It doesn't mean sex. We're going to get to sex, but intimacy doesn't mean sex. Intimacy can mean just holding hands, cuddling more, writing a love letter to your partner, and spontaneous romantic gestures. Anything that is just allowing your partner to know that you love them and you're thinking about them.
Absolutely.
A
A lot of times, everybody's not spontaneous.
Right.
So it's a little hard, but try to. Try to be spontaneous. Doesn't make you any different.
Right. Yeah.
Some people feel uncomfortable being spontaneous. But I love spontaneous.
Yeah, I like spontaneity too, because some people have to have that control,
Yeah,
right?
see,
So yeah, that's the thing. Now number 7 is make time for sex. Sex is good for your health, mood, and relationship. So communicate your desires and your needs. Be sensitive, open, and understanding. And if you are struggling in that area, then seek help from a trusted professional if needed.
Right.
Okay, so I think that is important, and I do see that. I mean, I do have couples that come in and their issue is intimacy and sex, and that's what they want to work on and focus on. Everything else in their life is fine, but it's the intimacy and the sex that needs to be worked on, and we will work on those things. So you can get therapy for that, people.
That's
you can
right.
get therapy for it.
You get therapy for anything.
Absolutely. Again, number 8 is sweet gestures matter. So being sweet to your significant other is not overrated. From cooking dinner to surprising him or her with an affectionate text or unexpected gifts. It's the little things that can make a big difference. Okay. And number 9 is spend more time with friends and family as a couple. That's an interesting one. That would probably be something. I think I do spend time with friends and my significant other, but not so much with family. I have to say, 'cause most of my family is in New Jersey, so. Right. But this is a good one. Take your relationship to new heights by spending time with family and friends together, and you both will grow stronger as a couple. And being with your loved ones and your inner circle will get to know your partner even better. So it's a win-win deal.
That's key.
Yeah. And the last one is say I love you at least once a day. If you don't already say I love you to your partner every day, take the next 12 months to show your partner how much you care for them by telling them that you love them.
That's key.
Yes. You like that 1-800-sex voice I just put on? So that's our show. That
Awesome.
is our show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it.
Like, if people would like, if people want to reach out to you to find out how they can get a mortgage, how can they reach you?
So, you can inbox me at my last name Handy, HANDY, at B as in boy, O as in outstanding, F as in Frank, A as in America.com.
All right. Once again, thank you, Greg Handy, for joining me tonight on the Rebirth. I would love to have you back. You were very informative, and it's always a pleasure and honor to be in your presence. I really appreciate you as my friend. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Really do. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Again, happy 2022 to you. I hope you guys, I know we usually do the funny on the show, and we're having a great time talking about a lot of things, but this was an important topic tonight. We want to rebuild, restore, and renew in 2022. And you have the power to do that. We have given you tools tonight. So make it do what it do. Apply it.
Right.
Practice that self-love, that self-care, and renew, rebuild, and restore. Shout out to my boy Eli. I will see you next week, buddy. Back on the Rebirth, Monday nights at 7 p.m. Y'all have a good night.